Hi, I'm Steve Jones from Redgate Software and SQL Server Central, and I guess the voice of the DBA. And I want to show you a little experiment I did with Prompt Plus AI. So I have my baseball database here, and I decided to just conduct an experiment. So Alt-Z opens this, and I'll say, who hit the most, geez, I can't type here, home runs in their career. Right now, this is a database that has a bunch of tables about baseball, but I don't have a column named home runs. It's got to do some things, and this is actually kind of cool that this worked well. I've tried this in a few LLMs, especially in Copilot, and once in a while I get something that doesn't work. So in this case, I can accept or decline this, but before I do that, I'm going to execute it. So I get Barry Bonds here as the top one. There's been times where I've had Ken Griffey show up because there are actually two Ken Griffeys. There's Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr., but in my database, they're both named Ken Griffey. And so without this group by player ID, I don't get that. So I get the correct results here. What if I say add in the number of seasons, right? Like I can ask this to start changing my code, and you'll notice I had typos in there. I didn't have to be exact here, which is different than a lot of coding. So here I've got this, I can test it. It looks good. Add the number of teams, right? So I can kind of keep doing some things if I want. In this case, you'll see it'll adjust the code, and when I accept it, then it's given me, hey, something that I could use, I could save off. I think this is one of those cool features that could be really helpful for analysts and BI people that sometimes are trying to figure out what's in a database, what's there. It can ask some questions, and the LLM can reason things in a similar way to humans. But let's try something else. So let me get rid of all this code. I got to do this. All right, so now I'm going to say which tables in my database don't have keys but should. All right, and again, there's a typo in here, right here. So in this database, there's actually not any foreign keys. This is the Landman baseball database, which I grab a copy of periodically. And most of the tables don't have things. Okay. Yes. So let's say yes. Would you like me to provide a SQL script? So here's one that does, didn't do it, it lost, but let me say, give me the script to create F keys for tables that need them. Okay. This is something I've done in the past, which I thought was kind of handy. See how well it works here in this particular video. But I've had plenty of people in databases where you're like, I'm missing foreign keys. I would like to implement some foreign keys. It's tedious work to go through and figure out all the different places that are there. I certainly can do it, but if I could assign this to a junior developer or somebody that might do a reasonable job, that's really handy. And so in this case, you can see that it adds a bunch of foreign keys in there that may or may not be what I want, but this gives me a starting point. If I accept this, now I can start to look at these and go, well, is this a reasonable choice here for this one? Is this a reasonable choice? Because it might be or might not be. I need to use my judgment, but Prompt has done a bunch of coding here. If I scroll up and down, that would be quite a bit of time and effort to go through there and understand, like, I'm not looking for a single column in here. I have a wide variety of columns where I need stuff done. So in any case, if you haven't played with Prompt Plus, please give it a try. If you open up Prompt and you do Alt-Z, you should see that. And I think it says Alt-Z in here somewhere, maybe. Open Prompt AI. You can do it that way as well. I'm Steve Jones for SQL Server Central and Redgate Software.